Today is Friday, February 9th, 2018, and this is Generally Trivial.
The Generally Trivial podcast, current events, interesting facts. Yeah, it's crazy, but still so fun. Like Tinder dates when they all go wrong. And even pop-up Cheeto restaurants. Naked burglars, man, they so dumb. The Florida man, gotta watch them though.
Welcome back to another episode of Generally Trivial. I am Jeff, one of the hosts here, and today with me I have Sean.
Hey, yo.
And Jordan is on assignment. He is flying all over pretty much the universe.
He's all over everywhere.
Yeah. I got a Snapchat from him that he was something about New York City. I didn't really pay a lot of attention, but yeah, he's just flying. I think Jupiter's next.
That's what he does. He flies.
Yeah. Hopefully he can bring us back some cool stories from New York, some odd news stories from there, and we'll just let him kind of, lead off an episode with all of the awesome stories he's bringing back from the road.
They'll probably all involve him.
The Sky Road.
The weird stories.
Yeah. They probably will. So, Valentine's Day.
Yep.
That's a thing.
It is.
It's coming up.
It's not a thing I've ever participated in.
I have, a few times. I mean, it's either don't participate in it or do and then get your heart broke. It's great. So, good news. Good times.
That's why I just don't.
Yeah, so we were going to look at the idea of having a fantasy draft with, Valentine's Day candies, but with just two of us.
It'd be weak.
Yeah. We probably wouldn't even be fighting over the same candies.
Right.
And Jordan would be having commentary on all of our picks if he were here, so without him here, it's a little tough, but
yeah.
We're gonna manage. We're gonna make it through. We've got some odd news stories for you in Up or Down, and of course, we're gonna do Did You Hear? Of course. But I also wanted to get your thoughts on a scale of 10 to 10, exactly how awesome Black Panther looks.
10. Solid 10.
Yeah, I'm going with a 10.
Plus 10.
10 plus 10. It looks great. Except for those racist jerks out there that apparently are trying to go on a campaign to, lower its score.
Yeah, they're dumb.
They're supposedly DC fans, but they're not.
No, it's not.
Because they didn't do it for Spider-Man.
Right.
And they didn't do it for Thor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Race much?
Wonder what the difference is. But no, I probably won't be there opening night because I have adult responsibilities, but I will be there as soon as I possibly can.
I'm taking my nieces to the premiere at the Ritz.
Well, you're cooler than me.
And maybe we'll win stuff again.
Yeah, you probably will. But probably not a giant stuffed circular robot.
No, probably not. Not that I got that anyway. My niece has it, and I'm bitter about it.
Yeah, it just sounds like that. I would be okay with taking a Porg home.
Yeah, it would have been all right. Still rather have the BB-8.
All right, well, with that, we're going to go ahead into Did You Hear?
Hey!
Did you hear?
Did you hear about this one?
Did you hear?
Did you hear about this one?
So, Jeff, on the subject of Valentine's Day, I guess more towards my Valentine's Days. In 2013, on an uninhabited island named Mana, some conservation officers set up a bunch of decoy birds to lure in, I don't know if it's pronounced gannets or gannets. I'm not sure how you pronounce the bird name. But they were trying to get birds to land there. They hadn't been seen there in 40 years, so they were trying to lure some in. Well, in 2013, they lured in a young bird by the name of they dubbed Nigel.
He introduced himself.
They nicknamed him No Mates Nigel because
Whoa.
yeah,
Whoa.
he was the only bird to show up on the island. And they set up 80 decoys. But out of all these 80 decoys, apparently Nigel took a shine to one of them. He went so far as he built a nest for the concrete bird. He would spend hours grooming her concrete feathers, apparently. Like, Nigel loved this bird.
Wow, he's kind of a romantic.
Yeah, she was his world.
Wow.
Well, we have some bad news. Apparently, this past week, Nigel passed away.
Oh.
But he died next to his concrete love.
Well, that's great. I mean, I feel like Nicholas Sparks is already writing this book right now.
For sure. And it's, to make it even sadder, this year when he came, like, he actually, like, other gannets followed him.
Yeah.
So there were 3 real ones, actually, that came to the island with him. But he just didn't care. He had no interest in them. He only had eyes for for his one decoy gannet love. But I like to think, like one of the rangers said, it feels like the wrong ending to the story. So I'm going to rewrite the ending of the story. And what actually happened is when Nigel came back this year and landed next to her and nuzzled up against the concrete decoy, it turned into a real bird. And they flew away together and lived happily ever after. That's what really happened. You heard it here first.
It's crazy, sad, but also like the greatest story ever told. I mean,
it is. It's fantastic.
Top that.
And he's always going to be the first bird that colonized that island, especially if a real colony develops there. It's going to be because of him, because he fell in love with a statue.
I mean, like, you could come up with all kinds of stories. Like, me and my wife, we met in a tornado.
That's not better than Nigel.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, we had to fight off a pack of wild dogs together while we were on a, cruise.
Nope.
Not better.
Not better.
Yeah. Sticking with your lonely motif, we wanted to bring some brightness to everybody listening here, and go with the loneliest number, which is, of course, 1.
1.
It's a town in Nebraska, Monowi, Monowai. It sounds like an Indian name to me, but I could be way off. It is the only incorporated town in the country with only 1 resident.
Huh.
That resident, Elsie Eiler, is the town's mayor, clerk, treasurer, librarian, bartender, and among other things.
Naturally.
So she hangs a sign in the tavern advertising mayoral elections and then votes for herself.
That's fantastic.
It's funny, but it seems also kind of like pretty narcissistic. Like, I'm going to win this year.
I'm moving there next year.
Yeah. Running a smear campaign. Oh, man. She has to produce a municipal road plan annually to secure state funding, and pays $500 in taxes to keep the water and electricity turned on.
Wow.
So her bills actually really aren't that bad.
Right.
If the $500 is all she pays for the year.
Right.
And she has a lot of paperwork and other bureaucratic junk to fill
true.
out. The problem, I think, is going to be like if you end up like, what if you have a complaint against the mayor?
Is she complaining about herself?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the story's not mentioning that, but it just, what if she gets a drinking one night and starts hearing things, and who knows?
Calls for a recall election.
The town's not always been this way. In the 30s, it was a still not a large town, but a population of 150.
Yeah.
Enough to have people.
Right. Small, but still Manageable.
Right, some shops and restaurants. She was actually raised on the outskirts of town, so this is kind of her home. She met her husband in primary school there in the 30s, so she's been around a long time.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting that this story kind of popped up and was talking about this town, and it's sad too because it's kind of like our bird Nigel, that once she goes, no one's going to be able to pay, the taxes and come up with the road plan. I would assume that means the town itself will no longer exist.
I'm moving there. I will be the person she can hand things off to. So I'm going to continue on the motif of talking about animals. And I would even be more specific, but I don't want to give away the ending.
Why would we ever not talk about animals?
I know. And this animal story is pretty great. So what we have is in Peterhead, Scotland. There. So apparently there was a local farmer by the name of Bruce Grubb. And he called the police to report the presence of a large, fearsome cat with stripes on his farm.
Yeah, I mean...
Right. Scary. Apparently, Grubb called the police to tell them that there appeared to be a tiger crouched on the ramp in his barn. So, officers immediately dispatched vehicles, including an armed response team to the farm, just in case. They also contacted a nearby wildlife park to see if a tiger had escaped from there. So 45 minutes after they arrived and parked outside of his barn, they realized that the tiger was a giant stuffed toy.
Oh, man.
The inspector told BBC that he was happy that the way they handled the situation, obviously. Their first thing is to protect the public and make sure, try to keep everybody safe. So
right.
They did that.
The public is safe.
And they did make sure to let people know that it wasn't a prank call. Like, the farmer he legitimately thought he had a tiger in his barn. He didn't put it there.
Sounds like a euphemism.
Yeah. I got a tiger in the barn. But apparently there was also there's a Facebook page called UK Cop Humor. They had a little fun with the incident, posting pictures of people in tiger suits saying that they were negotiators. So I thought that was another nifty story about fake animals.
I can't even imagine. You're just there. Like, what do you do after that? You go into town to go pick up some, like, lettuce or something. Or I guess he was a farmer, so you go in town to pick up something not farm related that you need for the house. Some screws to put on your molding or something, and you hear snickers, and they're laughing about you.
Hey, Bruce, how's the tiger?
Yeah. Bruce, what's that over there?
Poor Bruce Grubb.
All right, we're going to go ahead and head into a little up or down. This episode brought to you by Chuck's Valentine Lumber Yard.
Would you be mine?
All right, that means it's time for a little bit of up or down. If this is your first time listening to this segment of the show, we're going to bring up a couple news stories and just say whether or not we're up or down on the idea of it. If you are listening along at home, go ahead and decide whether or not you were up or down. And, you can always let us know. Twitter, email, call 415-PODLINE, leave a message. We'll probably play it on the show, unless it's just dumb, and then we won't.
Or explicit.
Yeah.
We won't play those.
Yeah. Not those either. Our first story is about Old Spice. This is Old Spice, the brand,
Yeah.
taking on a world you're familiar with, the tabletop RPG world.
What?
Yes, brands are getting more creative in the ways that they're connecting with their fans. Obviously, they're both well known for young men.
Right.
Not that either can't be enjoyed by old men, young ladies, whatever. But there's kind of a synergy here.
Interesting.
So for this promotion, Old Spice tweeted out to download this new Old Spice Gentleman class for the greatest role-playing game of all time. So they created their own character class
Interesting.
for D&D.
Huh.
I think you'd want to, have some sort of Terry Crews barbaric
Well, yeah,
type
obviously.
character, I would think.
Or a guy who rides a horse.
Yeah. I guess if it's gentleman, maybe that'd be I'm on a horse.
I'm on a horse.
Would probably be the better option there. But are you up or down on this idea of brand creativity?
I'm up. Anything that is somewhat interesting and involves D&D sounds kind of cool. I'm gonna have to look up the character stats though.
I'm actually gonna have to go down.
You're wrong.
Hear me out. We both know that some players are going to go too deep into this, right?
For sure.
And they're going to be bringing cans of Old Spice, and every time they do something cool, gentlemanly, they're going to be spraying it. If you're in the wrong room, there's going to be some
cloud.
Yeah, a cloud.
Of Old Spice.
People are going to be choking, and it's going to be bad.
Well, that wouldn't happen at my table.
Because you'd give them a karate chop sandwich.
Exactly. Now, if Oliver were still playing,
he is a glutton for punishment.
he is.
Our next story is coming to us from Oddity Central. They are reporting about a new service. It's called Chameleon Mask.
Okay.
And basically this is going to be an idea of a human Uber. So
last time I checked, Uber was human.
Right, but the human is not replacing the driver. The human is replacing the car.
Like piggyback rides?
No. So what this is really is a mobile FaceTime application. And essentially you are controlling this person who will then let you attend events
Okay.
as this person. And then you're seeing through this kind of FaceTime camera system what's going on. So this person is the surrogate for you.
Right.
So it's an interesting kind of idea. I think this could be something that catches on because I feel like the weird type of people will probably pay some serious money for stuff like this.
People will pay for dumb stuff.
So are you up or down on human Uber?
Super down. Super, like way far down. I don't know if I've ever been more down on anything on this show. It does remind me of Arrested Development. There's George Sr. gets put on house arrest, so he starts having a guy walk around wearing like an earpiece and a hat that has a camera on it who just speaks for him, and he's his surrogate. But yeah, this, like, if you want to attend something, if you want to go hang out, if you want to go experience something, just do it.
I am actually way up. The flu's real bad this year, man.
Ugh.
And I could be not getting it. I haven't got it yet, but I could guarantee I'm not getting it.
I haven't either. I go do stuff.
Well, you're going to get the flu and die.
Probably not.
So,
I have super immunities.
super immunities. The next story is about an animal, because we do love animals on the show.
Naturally.
This is about an animal named Abby. 10 years ago, this black lab was playing with her family outside the house in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Something caught her attention, and she wandered off looking after it. the family looked for weeks, putting out signs and doing that whole deal. They assumed the dog had been killed. 10 years ago. Guess who just got a phone call?
They found their dog.
They found their dog. The family actually said, you guys must have made a mistake because...
Right. It's been a decade.
It's been a decade. So she's like, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, oh my goodness. She kind of came back from the dead. Well, she didn't come back from the dead.
Right.
But she probably did come back from some kind of demonic battleground where she was been at protecting the family. I mean, have you seen a movie in the 80s?
Yep. The Gate.
Yeah. So, the dog's been protecting your family for a long time and you should cherish it.
Absolutely.
It would probably live forever at this point, actually.
Yeah, immortal dog.
In our easiest up or down, are you up or down on Abby returning home?
I'm up, but I'm a little suspicious of the people who called and said they found her. Because my thought process is that these people took her 10 years ago, and now she's getting old, and, they don't want to put her down. Yeah. And, maybe she's got some health problems, and they're like,
you guys do it.
Let's just give her back. That's kind of what I think. I think the people who gave her back are shady. So I'm down on them, but I'm up on the story.
I'm up, and also I think there's a sinister turn, but I think it's just that the dog is no longer fending off the demonic forces that were coming after the family, and
she just finally got to come home.
They're in trouble, so enjoy the dog for a little while, I guess.
Yeah.
Until literally all hell breaks loose. Sean, men are jerks.
Yeah, sometimes.
So, a group of feminists looking for a vacation spot don't have to look very far because there is a women-only resort off the coast of Finland.
Nice.
It's actually called Super She Island, which is not necessarily the best of names.
Yeah, probably could have done a little better on the naming.
It's the brainchild of American entrepreneur Christina Roth. She thought it would be a good place to for women to get away, which honestly they probably should because we're just dumb.
Yeah, we definitely can be.
But it's they don't have to kind of compete if there's other men around, and they don't have to deal with dudes.
Right.
So that's cool. But are you up or down on the idea of a woman-only island?
I'm up on that. It's happened in the comics. Themyscira, where Wonder Woman's from. That's a woman-only island. But no, I think it's a good thing. Can you imagine a men's-only island though? That resort would be wrecked in months. Just a bunch of testosterone-laced dudes, just
football.
So yeah, I'm up.
Everything's a competition. I can beat you. Yeah, I feel like I'm also up as long as it's not a long-term thing.
Yeah,
because there definitely needs to, still be a space for coexistence. But if women need to escape for a little bit, I kind of get it.
Right.
Our final story for Up or Down is about a couple. Fittingly, we're ending with a couple.
Right. Valentine's Day.
In Massachusetts, who says enough is enough. At first, it was pretty cool that they started receiving mystery packages from Amazon. Now, they're just ready for it to stop. So the first package arrived in October, and they've continued to receive one or two a week with just cheap stuff like plastic fans and phone chargers.
That's kind of cool.
They contacted Amazon, and Amazon told them that the merchandise was paid for with a gift card with no sender's name.
Weird.
Right. It says the experts believe that they were just being manipulated to change Amazon buyer reviews. I don't really get that because unless they're sending me the review or I guess if the person buying it for them is then reviewing it for them, then I guess you could pull it off. But are you up or down on the idea of getting Free stuff from Amazon.
I'm up, I guess. I'm always up for free stuff. I also have a different theory than the Amazon people, though. I think it's themselves from the future sending them items that they just don't realize they will need when the apocalypse comes.
Yeah. Why do I need a machete?
Like, you'll know soon
When the
past
time
me.
comes. I am up because I think they're missing a massive opportunity. When you've got this coming to you, find a way to market this. Get you a blog or a podcast going.
True.
Talk about each new product.
Yep.
Do your own little review on the blog or podcast. Make a little whimsical story. Find a way to give some of it away.
Yeah.
It's super. I mean, people are going to read it because it's interesting.
Yeah.
You don't want to oversaturate and make this super long story about a phone charger. But, a couple hundred words or 15-minute show about a phone charger, how you're going to give it away, what's a funny thing you could do with it.
Yeah.
You could do some stuff.
Yeah, people would wonder, like, what'd they get this week?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
You could definitely do something. Or you just have free gifts to give away for birthdays and Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
Cheap stuff. Like, you can give somebody a basket of cheap stuff.
Speaking of Amazon, they said that they're about ready to announce a kind of a delivery service like a UPS.
Yeah. Which
is kind of scary because they're just going to invade everything, I feel like. I mean, they are getting into food and so I think that's really interesting. But Bezos is like a super powerful dude right now.
Yeah.
I'm ready for them. Like he's probably just going to go into politics, I feel like.
He'll just take over the world a different way.
Right. He will.
Politics.
He will. So when instead of him becoming president, he'll become the prime minister.
Huh. Gotcha.
Well, we hope that you guys have a nicely planned Valentine's Day. Even if you don't have a date, it's still cool. You can wait for the 15th for candy to get cheap.
Yeah. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I mean, February's still cool because it's getting towards warmer months.
Yeah.
And, those are good even if February's not.
And it's super short. It's going to be over soon.
Yeah. There you go. So we thank you guys for listening to this episode and for all the episodes you've listened to. Please go ahead and send us something in on 415 Podline. I was talking to somebody the other day at work saying, hey, I should leave a message for the show. And I'm like, yeah, you should. And he's like, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, you should do it. And then
Didn't do it.
he didn't do it. So,
Do it.
DJ, come on.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Now. Do it.
All right. So today we were Sean.
Do or do not. There is no try.
And I'm Jeff. And we are out. Just do it.